Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the quarterfinals of the VicaraGaming Open. My name is Duke, and joining me will be Coddi. How you doing, man?
Not bad, thanks. I'm again happy to be here.
Yeah, really looking forward to this game after the showing that Epic gave us on Sunday. It was really, really spectacular.
Yeah, it was a really good game. Just all around good play from all the players.
Yeah, it was that lone druid play from So Sad was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, he just got a bit carried away. They didn't really deal with him in that game. I feel. They just kind of let him free farm, and you never want to let a lone druid free farm.
I completely agree with you there.
So we see the instant ban on Invoker and Viper.
Yeah, so Viper's maybe something they don't want to play against because he is just a very stable hero, quite very tanky. And the Emissary ban actually, I wonder what Alpha Wars I really want to go for here because there's a lot of heroes that are still open. Obviously, you've still got the Lycan who Epic proved fantastically that they could deal with. You still got like the Ancient Apparition, you've got the Sand King, like the supports you still got the Shadow Shaman. Obviously, Sand King being a very, very popular pick in the current scene. So actually, Epic do ban out the Lycan, and the first pick does go to Alpha Wolves, and there are countless heroes in the current pool which they would be able to pick up and just do amazingly with. Bat Rider comes straight to mind. It's such a solid pick. If the other team are relying on a BKB carry, your Bat Rider will be able to completely hold that in its tracks. And they do get an Ancient Apparition, like we did say, commonly banned out.
Yeah,
And I'm wondering.
I was just about to say the Ancient Apparition. He seems to be a really, really strong support in the current scene. We will say the other day when they didn't ban out Lycan. I believe it wasn't Epic, it was the opponents that picked up Lycan.
Yeah, the opponents picked, and they just dealt with it incredibly well.
I was saying that he seems to have come back into the meta as of late. With, like you said, going back to the whole TI2 hero lineup, as if with a few extra add-ons with your centaurs and your characters that weren't around back when TI2 was around.
Yeah. Already into the bonus time for the first two picks, so Epic a Weaver first pick. Now that is somewhat surprising. Maybe wanting to steal it away from Alpha Wolves and actually go for a Weaver Abaddon, and this screams of what Empire used to run when it was captained by Goblak. Just the draft that really sort of brought Abaddon into the scene. Actually, I think in the first major game after this patch, and they were brought into captain's mode, Goblak chose Centaur, Abaddon, and Tusk. I think just chose all of the new heroes and just ran with it. Really imaginative drafter. And I do like the Life Stealer, especially the Ancient Apparition, because you got the Cold Feet, which you can lock down someone, especially with the open wounds. That there's very, very strong slow, 70% the beginning. Obviously, it does deteriorate over time, but still, if you throw out the Cold Feet to begin with and then get the slow, you're more likely going to get the activation on that. But they're going to ban out the Doom, the Sand King, the Clockwork, and the Vengeful Spirit. So two of these supports, which I was actually expecting to see either banned or picked up in the first stage, not getting through to the second.
Yeah, they're both really solid characters, the Sand King and the Vengeful. They've both, obviously with the buffs, one of the buffs I really liked in the 6.81 was when Vengeful dies, she obviously gives the debuff to the enemy characters, which I think is a really good buff, and it can just destroy people who like Weaver, who have like really high damage output.
Yeah, especially with heroes that have a lot of base damage, obviously, because it only debuffs your base damage. But say if you got it up against a Morphling who very rarely will build extra damage, and it all comes from his agility. So if you put minus 36% on a Morphling, it is absolutely terrifying to try and deal with.
Yeah, it's really horrible. But I really do like this Abaddon pick. I mean, I feel that any character that has such mobility like Puck and Weaver really do well with the Aphotic Shield, because anyone who can get close to the enemies really quickly is just can output so much damage. And then the added bonus of obviously absorbing a lot of damage from the enemy opponent.
Yeah, so I do like the pop pick. It will it does steal it away from Alpha Wars. You're not going to get that Life Sealer Bomb. Obviously, the Batrider is still available, but it does give them a sort of mid game presence which they can use to roam around with. And as we saw last week on Sunday with Sapkio onto that Invoker, it was absolutely monstrous, and then dying. I've seen Alpha Wolves play this before, and they do it very, very well. They do like their undying.
Not a character you see often though, which is
No,
quite interesting. I mean, I'm not that Undying is a bad character. You just obviously don't see him a lot as of late, with all the changes that have come by.
10 seconds remaining.
What I really like to pair him up with is the Lich, obviously, because now you can put the frost armor on the buildings and the tombstone. So if you give that extra armor to the tombstone and that attack speed reduction, it's very difficult for your opponents to bring it down. Because quite often what will happen is if the carry focuses 3 hits onto the tombstone, it's gone. And it does do a lot of damage if the zombies are able to build up.
Yeah, it only takes a few seconds of neglecting. So many times I've seen in games they neglect taking the tombstone down, and once them zombies accumulate, you just get so much damage output. And then we see the Bristleback pick up from Epic.
And the Bristleback, as well as an Abaddon, they are quite open on what their lanes can be, because a Bristleback Abaddon is absolutely terrifying. They have the potential just to rotate as 5 at 10 minutes and just run the Bristleback at any opponents.
Yeah, that Aphotic Shield along with the Bristleback passive is crazy amounts of tank. I mean, you're hardly going to be able to kill him. I mean...
And we do see the Darkseer. I do very, very much like the Darkseer in the current scene. He's just got so much potential when played well. And if you can get a vacuum into a 5-man ice blast with the decay over the top, and dying's going to become incredibly tanky, just instantly gaining 20 strength. None of them will be able to heal. Borrowed time won't do anything. I am really, really enjoying the draft actually out of both teams right now.
We've got the TA ban from Epic there. Not wanting to deal with that. Them Psyblades can be a big problem for a squishy character like Puck, because obviously he can only phase shift so much.
Yeah.
The Psyblades can become a real problem.
Yeah, definitely agree with you there. If TA, obviously with all matchups with a Puck can do well, but TA is just able to get off that easy harassment with those Psyblades. Based on what you've seen of the team so far, obviously you have seen Epic play. You haven't actually had a chance to see Alpha Wolves. Just based off these 4 heroes, who do you think wins, and what do you think the losing team would need to pick up to sort of complement?
I just purely because of the amount of sustain that Epic has at the minute and the mobility with the Puck and the Weaver, I think that they and obviously there's no real character on Alpha Wolves apart from the Surge on the Darkseer to really get them really good life stealer bombs off. So I think that a character with a lot of sustain, with a lot of mobility, the life stealer can, because the life stealer often has problems getting into fights, and that the Death Prophet's picked up, which I'm not sure I amazingly like.
I think it will actually work quite well, because it actually just gives them a presence which they can just stand and sort of man fight with. That is what they're going for.
Yeah.
And with the Wraith King, they will just try and suicide the Wraith King, and they already have great chasing potential. So you're not, even if you kill the Wraith King, you're slowed even more. So there's no escaping that.
And it also gives the added bonus of being able to push anti-push, which at the moment Epic have got a really good pushing lineup with the bristleback, well obviously with the quill spray, and the puck can clear waves instantly.
And you also have the amazing sort of push potential and the like sort of sustain that you're going to get out of these heroes. Also, you mentioned the mobility, but obviously you've still got Warpath, and you get at level 16, he'll get up to an extra 35% movement speed if he gets off all of his Warpath stacks. So Bristleback's not exactly a slow hero either. You're going to have the Curse of Avernus coming from the Abaddon. You're going to have the Wraithfire Blast, which after the stun will provide a slow. So all of these heroes have really strong tracing potential. But it's going to go ahead and introduce the team of Alpha Wolves. On the Darkseer, we have Dante. In the mid, we have Killing Zone playing Death Prophet. We have Azazel on the Lifestealer Purist, onto the Undying, and Last Wiz onto the Ancient Apparition. On for Epic, taking up the not again the Bristleback. Let's just go ahead and say that he is. I think it's probably it's still Bob.
We call him Bob.
Yeah. On the Wraith King, we do have Molex. Meth onto the Abaddon. On mid, we have Sarcastic Sapkir on the puck. And then, so sad, on that safe lane once again, not with the Lone Druid this time, taking up the Weaver. Going to be 1v1 up against this Darkseer.
And instant smoke up from Wraith King and Abaddon with the DD rune on Wraith King.
Thing is, they can dive this quite well, obviously, with the slow that they're going to have from the Wraithfire Blast after it lands, and the quite nice damage that comes out of a level 1 Illusionary Orb. Here we go. There's going to be the stun.
Yeah, I think this is.
And they're going to be able to put the Aphotic Shield, and that's going to be first blood.
Yeah. See,
So
that
really...
that Aphotic Shield can be so deadly.
Yeah.
I feel that this Lifestealer is going to have a problem getting, like I was saying, Lifestealer often have problem getting into fights without that mobile character to get them really nice Lifestealer bombs off. Like if you have a Storm Spirit or a Puck,
Yeah.
Get them really nice bombs off, get them instantly into the fight.
Yeah. Especially since obviously you've got you're going to have the Nasal Goo, which is just going to which will obviously it goes through his rage, so he's just going to be slowed up forever. And there's no sort of way for him to close a gap very swiftly.
No, he's going to get to the point where, like you said, the Nasal Goo goes through the rage. So it's going to get to a point where he can't really. He doesn't. In order for a Lifestealer to be really good, I feel that the earlier you get into a fight, the better, because obviously the Lifesteal can give you a lot of sustain in a fight. So if you only a couple of seconds out of a fight, and Lifestealer has missed a lot of precious damage that he could inflict. Yeah,
though one thing we have to always take into account the fact is they do have 3 strength heroes on the opposing team, so Lifestealer will be able to quickly get his health back in any engagement.
Yeah, that Lifestealer is anyone with a massive amount of health is just crazy amount of sustain. It's ridiculous.
And one thing is actually due to the fact obviously they got a invisibility rune for the Wraith King. So this could potentially be another kill on to the Death Prophet, now 2 levels in the Orb, and the Waning Rift as well.
Death Prophet did go down to check the rune, and so either she knows that it's been taken or it might be top.
Well, that is very surprising. Wasn't really expecting the Bristleback to die so soon. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, you obviously do see them going on to the Death Prophet, and that's just going to be another easy kill, obviously, with those levels up in the Orb and the Rift. Fairly simple gank there for the Wraith King.
This Lifestealer's having a lot of fun up top with his free farm. He's sitting at the top of the last hits at the minute on 20.
And one of the things you want to commonly compare is how the offlaners are doing in comparison to each other. So we're looking at a 7 and 2 Dark Seer versus a 6 and 0 Bristleback who has died once. This Bristleback is actually going to struggle even just to get that little bit of extra XP for his level 4. Meanwhile, Dark Seer halfway to 5.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to push your Docs here out of XP, or even farming, because as soon as you get that soaring up, I'm presuming he's... Oh no, if he was going soaring, you can get them double ion shells up, which just mow down creep waves.
What I actually like about this hero is that if he saves his Surge for after the Ray Fire Blast, what crowd control do they have for him? Sorry, you're going to throw a Mist Coil at me? Thank you. Okay, I'll take the damage and carry on running. They can't really do anything to him because they only have one stun, and the Darkseer will always save his Surge for after that one stun.
Yeah, so that Surge gives you a huge amount of ability to escape from fights if need be. On the same thing, like I said, even though we haven't got that amazing mobile character for them Lifestealer Bombs, you've still got the Surge on the Darkseer, which can obviously get hasted, so that's also a compromise.
Yeah, we are actually going to be looking at 1,000 gold up for this Lifestealer, so probably going to end up going for that Midas, getting that extra bit of getting that extra bit of farm. Actually, do you see Dream Core go in the mid lane, and is Sapko going to be able to pick him off? No, he moved away as soon as possible, and that is now a wasted Dream Coil.
Yeah, this Wraith King's making stuff happen in the mid lane. I quite like it.
Yeah, he was definitely moving in, but a quick reaction from the Death Prophet got him out home and home.
This Weaver here is get level 5, nearly level 6, while the Lifestealer's only level 4, which is something to look at. I mean, once you get that time lapse, it's like Weaver can become really scary.
It really depends where the supports are, how they're getting their levels as well. Like the Wraith King and Abaddon are only 3 and 3, whereas we've got obviously almost level 4 Undying and halfway to 5 on the Ancient Apparition, and they're jumping into the mid, and we've got a double TP incoming. The Undying and the Ancient Apparition will be enough to deter them from trying to finish off the Death Prophet. But like I was saying, the Ancient Apparition is getting close to that level 6, and when that happens, it is going to go very, very wrong for any engagement that Epic want to take.
Yeah, it's not going to be pretty. We've got Hatrun up on the puck, so they can try and make something happen here with that Dream Coil, and they do. They get the Dream Coil off. Yeah, that's an easy kill on the Death Prophet there.
Yeah, especially with that Hatrun, there was really no way for Death Prophet to escape from that. And I really want to... Actually, they are jumping onto the Bristleback, but they don't actually get the open wounds off, so there is not going to be any extra slow coming from there. I would actually like to see them try and get a ward around here, from Alpha Walls, because this is where the Wraith King is coming from every single time. They actually don't have any wards sort of scouting out any of these areas.
No, did they actually have? They have one ward up at the. Did they actually have any observers up all?
No, they don't actually have any observers currently. The other one they had was down here, and it was dewarded. Actually, they're going to run it onto Dante, and they're just going to dive him. The time lapse is there. Yeah, actually, that was very, very clever from Dante, but basically forcing out the time lapse, the Weaver had to move backwards, allowing him to live there.
When they go on the Bristleback here.
Oh, they get a jump in from the park. Do we have a drink or 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second? Are we going to go? No.
I think that rage is... You just have to pop rage, really, don't you? Although it was on cooldown.
They know about the Death Prophet.
Oh, that was a nice warp into the illusionary orb there.
Yeah, a little bit greedy for the kill there. I think if he had backed off, he might have been able to live. Obviously, he would have had the support of the Undying, would have been able to get off that life tap, the soul rip, and keep him alive there. And I really don't really want to see this Death Prophet roaming or you try to use her ult at any purpose other for taking a tower. If she had just stayed mid and used her ultimate on that tower, it would have been a lot more beneficial than trying to rotate to help.
Yeah, and the farm difference at the minute, I mean, because of that Roman, because she lost so much time in the mid while Puck was actually accomplishing something, it really shows the difference in farm in the mid lane, which I think is really important. She's 16 last hits down, 13 denies down, and then obviously the kills on top of that.
It's a 2,000 gold difference between actually 2,200 gold, 22,000 gold. That would be impressive at 9 minutes. That would be something special to see TI4. Here they come.
Yeah, I mean the offlaner up until a second ago had more farm than the Death Prophet, which is
DotA currently does have more farm than this Death Prophet, and with Death Prophet actually not required to go for that mechanism, can choose to go for a bit more sort of self-reliant items. And the levels are really quite stunted for these supports of Alpha Wolves. Like the Ancient Apparition was halfway to level 5 elite a good 3 minutes ago, and it's really only a sixth of the way towards that level 6. Meanwhile, the Undying hasn't even broken 4, and we're looking at a level 6 Wraith King and a level 4 Abaddon. These levels are really playing into a favour, and another jump onto will they get it uphill? The Soul Rip is there, and they might be able to pick him off. It lands.
I think a bit of a misplay there with the phase shift. Did it just after the bats?
Yeah, we've got a TP coming in from the Abaddon. He's going to be enough to deter them, but the PD perk did fall, and obviously the Death Prophet still living, and that was some vital levels really. You just got almost a little 6 on that Ancient Apparition, and if he stays in this mid lane, he's going to be getting that. Meanwhile, obviously at top, the Lifestealer's farming away, and he's just having a whale of a time. I think got his Midas about a good minute before the Weaver, and has been able just to sort of push that advantage. And with all the support roaming that is coming in from Epic, this Darkster is just getting a lot of free time. And you could just see the harassment that he's putting on this Weaver. Weaver just goes down to half health just from an Iron Shell in the middle of the creep wave.
Yeah, I mean 700 health is like nothing to, because like the problem is if you have a character that can quickly clear out creeps. I know he has that Geminate, but you would really have to get that creep down that has the shell on him. And now there's a double shell off, and there's nothing really Weaver can do on that lane. But they do go on the Darks here.
Yeah, there's a surge. The Ice Boss actually will miss. And they're actually going to jump in onto the Wraith King. He will might have to be popped his ult here. Yeah. And that is a big cooldown to pop. 260 seconds. And that was popped for absolutely no reason. So that was very, very nice coming out of Alpha Wolves there. Very nice rotation out of the Death Prophet, despite not wanting to push her own tower, still managed to find her sort of footing elsewhere. Though we are sitting at 1,700 gold for this puck, so this Blink Dagger is going to be coming in hard and fast.
Yeah, it's going to get to the point where we are talking about how mobile a puck can get. And it's hard to kill a puck with 2 escape mechanisms, as it were. I mean, once you get enough points in phase shift, it's a guaranteed blink away.
Really nice sort of observations coming from Alpha Wolves here. They saw them come up in this ward, and they're going to see if they can try and bait this. Obviously, they've got the Undying in now. The Ancient Apparition will throw out the blast in a short second. The silence onto the puck and the Abaddon, and the Wraith King is almost dead. You're going to see the Ice Blast go over all of them. Won't actually hit anyone, but they're just like mowing them down. That Death Prophet ulti is doing massive work. The Dream Call is going to be there, but they're not going to be able to pick off anyone for it. And the Vacuum will try and bring back the Abaddon, but they're not able to pick him off either. The puck skirting around the edge with that haste rune, and this fight is really descending into nothing. No one dying, no one falling. Meanwhile, the Bristleback is just free pushing this top lane, and he's actually getting up his farm, actually close to a Sanj. So he's going to be really tanky very soon.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot accomplished in them TPs down. I think there's a couple of rules you have to abide by when TPing down to a tower that's in danger. Either you have to be able to secure a kill to make the loss of a tower seem worth it, or you have to be able to deter the enemies from taking the tower, and they didn't really accomplish any of them two there.
Yeah, the problem was with the actually Ice Blast actually overshooting and missing the heroes. It was very, very difficult situation for them to be in, and they weren't actually able to capitalize on it. Actually, they are going to rotate top. We are going to see the open wounds to begin with, and now the Ancient Apparition is coming in. Going to get that slow, going to get that chilling touch off onto the Life Sealer, and this extra damage is going to come out in force. Those phase boots going to be doing massive work. And do we have another open wounds? No, we don't. And that's just not going to be enough to kill him. Are we going to see an epic snipe? No, we're not. Well, the magic wand charges, the magic stick charges are enough. Is he going to pop it? Come on, Ancient. Come on, you can do it. Okay, the Ice Blast is coming down. Will it land? Oh no, it's going to overshoot. Oh, that was a nice attempt, really trying to gauge it, but
Yeah,
Bristleback wisely staying closer to the middle of the base rather than skirting the edges.
yeah, we're just talking about the tankiness there of Bristleback, like we were saying earlier. They've got a really, really sustainable team. Because like there were 3 peak characters who went on Bristleback there, and they just didn't get the kill. Even with the open wounds, even with everything else, just nothing.
And here we are. We're going to christen that Blink Dagger, and here we go straight onto the Life Stealer. And as soon as he gets out of that silence, oh, he didn't pop. He popped the drink core before he was able to get off rage off, and he does actually end up going down just to the right click from the Wraith King. The Ice Blast does hit too, but it's not. The wall is there. It's not. It's in the wrong place, unfortunately, and they're not actually able to get any illusions off that. They're throwing the Undying forwards, obviously with that Iron Shell, now with the Flesh Golem, but this Bristleback is doing way too much damage with all of these quills. And now a big jump in from the puck, and the quills to absolutely wreck them down. Double kill for the Bristleback, and the Death Prophet is in house, but can she do enough damage? She has the ultimate active. But is she able to do enough? There's massive damage going on, and she is absolutely melted down by that puck.
And I believe that was actually a team wipe.
Yeah, team wipe with the Life Sealer going down originally, and really mistake out of the Life Sealer because he actually broke the tether of the Dream called tether before he was able to get Rage off, and then they were just able to follow up with the Wraith King's stun. And you just have to think if he was able to Rage and walk out of that, he probably would have lived. Also, we did have the Darkseer come in Darkseer actually was only able to get in there a little bit after the fight, and he is the mech carrier, so they need him in these fights.
Yeah, if he goes down early, then there's nothing he can really do about it.
The one really saving grace for them is that Life Stealer is getting farm, but on the flip side, we are getting a Desolator on this Weaver. Already got both Mithril Hammers, 300 gold, 600 gold, and these heroes are going to melt. Where are the armor for these heroes? You've got 4 on Death Prophet, 3 on the Undying. Actually, the Darkseer have an incredible amount for an intelligence hero. 7 plus the mechanism for him, 3 on the Ancient Apparition, and due to the armor, we've got 9 onto the Life Stealer. So these heroes are going to melt, and we've also got Heaven's Halberd up for the Bristleback, and I'm pretty sure the Heaven's Halberd does actually go through the Rage. It doesn't go through BKB, however. Though I could be very, very wrong on that. However, I think that's from my experience.
Fortunately, I've never used Heaven's Halberd against a Life Stealer, so I wouldn't know.
Well, if anything, it's going to give him survivability. Obviously, you've got that evasion regardless. And we're not going to be seeing an MKB up on this Life Stealer anytime soon.
I've got nearly 2,000 gold sitting on the Wraith King at the minute, so I wonder what he's going to go for.
It's going to be that blink.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Also,
you get some really good initiation out with the blink on the Wraith King.
And we've also got a Desolator now coming out for the Weaver. Absolute massive damage being dealt to this Life Stealer just from one Geminate and an extra attack. It is really a tricky situation to be in. Another haste rune on this puck, and we should be able to catch the Undying. And there is going to be the jump, choosing not to go for the extra spells. The haste rune will carry him out of the chilling touch. There was a really nice silence coming out from the Death Prophet there, just keeping that Undying alive. Throwing the Ice Blast into the mid lane, but puck already back to full health. Just going to be a little bit of harassment. And the puck, actually, I think we'll be going for Yule Scepter in this situation, just to get rid of that silence. So puck are going to get even harder to kill for this team. And I like this choice out of the Lifesteal. They're going to go straight for that Assault Courier. I still want to get a Skull Basher. You need to get that armor up for your team. I would actually like the Undying to go for a Vlad's just to get that extra bit of armor as well, and then give the extra Lifesteal to your Lifestealer.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Because unlike Epic, they really don't have a secondary fallback. Obviously, they don't have the Bristleback who's able to cast off things and actually deal moderate damage in these team fights. They really are relying. All of their eggs are in the Lifestealer.
Yeah, and also Vampiricore is going to come into effect eventually as well with the Desolator on the Weaver and the amount of damage he's outputting. Vampiricore is such a good spell. I mean, we've run Wraith King support a few times in our games. It just works so well.
Yeah, definitely.
Because Vlad's, I think, is a very, very good support item, but the Wraith King just makes it so you don't need that item. Which makes you be able to go for other items, such as your Yules and your Blinks and your other important items.
And they just lost the mid tower. They were trying to get the Weaver, but one thing neither of us has actually mentioned about this team: where are the stuns? Actually, they're gonna have a massive engagement in the mid lane. The Iron Shell is onto the Undying, and can we get a big Vac? We've got level 3 Vac. Actually, Vac's on cooldown. We need to get a big wall. Oh, the Silence is there on the dark side. He needs to live through this. Oh, the Undying is already dead. The Ice Blast hits on 3. That had massive damage coming out to them. Wraith King ulti is popped. The Abaddon is melting even through that. Even through his ulti. Lifesteal is ripping through that. Ripping through the Wraith King, and he will be able to go back onto the Bristleback. The Heaven's Halberd being propped onto him, and actually, will he escape? That would be really, really unfortunate. No, we're going to have enough on the Surge. Actually, no, he will actually escape from this. His Tranquils are back up, so he's going to get super movement speed, and that is a 4-for-0 wipe. Actually, did they get a buyback?
Yeah, the Undying died,
yeah.
I believe.
No, the Undying never died.
Or Ancient Apparition fell, though.
No, both heroes have their buyback available.
Oh, they must just come back then because it says Weaver pwned Ancient Apparition. So.
Yeah, must have been. Only that level 6, very short respawn, but
yeah,
that was.
I believe it was a 4-for-2 or 4-for-1. Either way,
yeah.
It was a good outcome for
yeah, very, very nice. Considering that the Undying was almost gone by the beginning of the fight, but that Ice Blast over the Abaddon and the Wraith King and the Bristleback, there was no extra healing coming out of these heroes. When Bristleback gets a lot of spells cast, he does a lot of damage, so he was healing. He would have been healing a lot with that Wraith King with the Vampiric Aura. However, Ice Blast does not care for your healing, and even greater is the borrowed time from Abaddon was completely nullified by that Ice Blast. Actually, can't remember. Does it?
Does it actually stop you from healing?
I know that it's something. Obviously, the debuffs can be. Some debuffs will be purged, and borrowed time is activated. But I'm not sure if the Ice Blast is one of them.
That'd be quite interesting to see. I'm not sure.
See, he died so quickly anyway. It didn't really make too much of a problem. And they're going to see if they can go on to this. They'll be able to keep the Death Prophet alive, and this is going to be hard times for this Wraith King. He does have the ultimate.
And like you say, there's no stuns, so there's nothing they can do about that.
Without the fact he was gone, and the Weaver just went into the back and picked off that Ancient Apparition. Actually, they might be able to kill him. There is absolutely massive damage going out to him. If they're able to get a big jump in from the puck, but the mech is there from the dark side.
Beautiful bats!
Straight into the bats from the Death Prophet. But in the mid, the Abaddon and Bristleback were just pushing that tower.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of that recently.
We are looking at very nearly like that. Assault Cruiser is coming up very, very shortly for the live stream. And something I failed to mention was the minus armor that you will be getting from that, helping the Death Prophet deal even more damage to these heroes.
Yeah, actually, that's a fair point. We've seen a lot of that though. Whenever a fight kicks off in one of the lanes, Epic always seem to get a tower out of it. It's like the past 3 fights, there's always been one other character on one of the other lanes just picking off a tower, and that's important because after all, like we've said, Dota is an objective-based game.
Yeah, look at all the towers. Tier 1, Tier 1, Tier 1. The Tier 1 on the safe lane hasn't been touched. The Tier 2, Tier 1 on the off lane are 200 health down, and the Tier 1 in the mid under half. That is not what you want to have when you got a Death Prophet draft. And they actually catch out the Lifestealer, and he's just going to be able to rage and walk away.
Oh no, with the snot. Oh yeah, he just walks away.
Yeah, with the phase boots, he's fast enough, and so with the armlet proc, he will be tanky enough to be able to deal with those heroes.
So as of this point, I think that Epic still has the upper hand. I feel that last fight really did go well in Alpha Wolf's favour. Where I mean the one in their jungle, not the one way down there. I think they did really well to come out of that fight, because at that point they were like, it was what, 9-3 or something like that.
They were at a gold disadvantage of about 10,000, and they're currently at a gold disadvantage of over 12. And really, that's all coming down to the fact that the Bristleback and the Puck are double that of the Death Prophet and Darkseer.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That Death Prophet really hasn't made a lot of work this game. Like you said, when you draft a Death Prophet, you expect to get at least the Tier 1 towers. At the very least. And they just haven't really touched any of the towers apart from the mid.
Yeah, and the mid's not even gone down, which, with the amount of roaming that Puck was doing, you really expected that one to be down.
Yeah, like one exorcism and you can take down a tower's Death Prophet, so it's quite surprising that they've got every single tower up.
And look at this. They're pressuring top tier 1. They rotate 4 heroes to get it. And then the Weaver and Bristleback just take out the Roshan. And how are you going to kill this Bristleback now? He has almost got a BKB. He's got a Heaven's Halberd. He's got Evasion. He's going to get Magic Immunity. And now he's got a second life. What can you do to this guy?
Not a lot, especially when you've got characters like with the Vampiricora and the Aphotic Shield. Like we were saying at the draft, they've just got so much sustainability in team fights. They're just so tanky. And
they've also got the Vlads on the Bristleback. Like he's going to get the 16% lifesteal from the Vlads, and then 30%. He's going to be healing for half of the damage every hit he does. And with just 2 Warpath stacks, he's already at over 100 damage.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's like that Warpath really comes in dividends when you've got those lifesteal buffs. Like you said, he's going to be healing for what, 100 every attack on 2 stacks of Warpath. That's crazy.
They really need to get this level 12 on this Darkseer before they even bother fighting. Look, he is 190 experience away from level 12, and that level 2 wall could be the difference between a win and a lost fight. That extra 400 cast range is such a big deal, it's unreal. The thing is, they're just being split pushed out of this. Actually, Weaver is actually falling quite low on his bottom lane. Will actually doesn't even have time that's open. So he's going to have to back off. Oh, there is a big engagement, and they actually got the Bristleback. The Aegis is down, but then there's jump in from the Wraith King. He's just going to start dealing damage. He's not actually dead yet. The Aphotic Shield is on him. The Lifestealer in the middle of it tanking. Oh, actually ripping through the Bristleback. He has gone down. And now we're going to pick off the Wraith King as well. The Abaddon trying to take down the Lifestealer, but the Lifestealer does go down eventually to the Puck. And will the Death Prophet being able to pick him off? No extra mana. And that will be the end of that. And that was a really nice fight, but a buyback from the Lifestealer, that really could cost them. Because that wasn't really needed. They weren't able to sort of follow in on that fight.
We've got the Bloodstone coming out from the Death Prophet.
Is under attack.
I really think that Yule's would have been so much more effective, really. But like, obviously you do get the health from that, but the Yule's that active just could provide a teleport breaker.
Yeah. Which they
They
don't
have-
really have at the minute.
No, they only have the vacuum on a 30-second cooldown to actually disable the teleport.
I think the stream's gone off.
Oh,
Well, it hasn't though. It says it hasn't.
we do actually have a sheepstick, which I failed to even. I never even noticed that from the puck. So we look at sheepstick plus 2,600 gold for this puck. This is really worrying territory for Alpha Wolves to be in.
Yeah, the sheepstick is really, really big pickup. I mean, you can instantly take someone out of the fight, which is really nice. I mean, a sheepstick would go down really well on Alpha Wolves. I feel, because obviously if you shoot the bristleback, he doesn't get that passive.
To be honest, if you sheep this Weaver, he's gone. He's got no Lincolns. He's got no defensive. He's gone Deso into Daedalus.
Yeah.
He does an incredible amount of damage, but he cannot live at all. He almost died to solo to the Death Prophet, and actually they're going to go around to gank him. Have they got a gem? They did buy a gem onto one of their heroes. And here we go. Who's got the gem? I think it is the Death Prophet. Oh, and there's a 5-man Dream Core coming out of the park. That is going to save the Weaver, unless they can get there in time. He's just going to TP out, and like we said, with the vacuum was on cooldown, there was no way to even stop that.
That's really, really good play from the puck there. Just 5-man Dream Call is really, 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 really good. I mean, the Weaver at this point, like you said, he is really squishy, and you need to keep that Weaver up. You can't let him die because he needs that farm. Because he has gone full damage. I mean, until he gets a defensive item such as that Lincoln's, he's just going to go down so fast.
Yeah, probably won't choose to go for Lincoln's because not much point.
Yeah,
There's not many target spells. Probably would go for that BKB. Just don't want to be affected by that Ice Blast, or don't want to be vacked into a wall. Because with a full damage Weaver, your illusions are going to hurt your allies a lot.
Yeah, that wall is often neglected. I feel that a lot of people don't realise how much damage that wall actually puts out.
I think the problem is that a lot of people do struggle with that combo into it. There is a smoke coming out from Epic trying to wait on this high ground, but to no avail really. Alpha Wolves is all chilling around this bottom lane.
But if anything, that smoke did give them the opportunity to ambush pushing top, force out some TPs, which is always nice.
Yeah, and now that's going to go straight into top again. There are some nice anti-push, especially with the Death Prophet coming from Alpha Wolves, and if they can stall out, this Darkseer is really able to put his mark in. If they get a sort of a vacuum into a wall here, or just anywhere in these like sort of high ground choke points, they really can just go to town.
This Bristleback is just being able to freely hit the tower though. I mean, there's not much they can do about it.
It's nice Ice Blast will hit the Bristle and the Puck, but without an Agnums, that's not lasting any time at all. And the Death Prophet always needs to be at this bottom lane just to be able to deep-push from this Weaver.
Yeah, it's really coming into effect.
They've made a jump onto the Life Sealer, and he's popped the. Oh, what a beautiful back coming out of the Darkseer. The BKB is out from the Bristleback in force, but where's the Life Sealer? Life Sealer is inside the Ancient Apparition. They need to get him out. He needs to fight. He's not popping out. He's not contributing anything to this fight. He's going to end up trying to go onto that Bristleback, but he's just going to take too much damage from the Bristles, and the Abaddon is hiding in here. Meanwhile, the Puck decided to go down bottom, and will the Weaver actually die?
No, he needs 100 health to die.
Nah, the Weaver will live from this, but that is a bottom rack, which they just lost.
Yeah, it comes into effect again, like I was saying earlier. Every time there's a fight that kicks off, there's always someone on another lane doing some work, and it always seems to be that Weaver. Yeah,
that was really nice play coming out of them. And the thing is, brilliant play from the Puck. Jumped in, ended up using Illusionary Orb, went down, and then blinked further, and then just ended up just mowing down those barracks with the Weaver. And I dread to even look at the gold graph right now. Over 20,000 in favor of Epic and over a 12,000 experience lead. Just all the cards in their ball right now.
Yeah, three of Epic's characters are in the top 4 of the net worth, which is ridiculous. I mean, Bristleback is the 3rd highest in net worth on Epic, and he's still nearly 5,000 ahead of Death Prophet.
Yeah. And we just looked at a full Shivas being picked up for the puck. There's a full heart for the Weaver.
Fair enough.
Whatever.
Shipping out a heart to ask on the courier, no problem.
And we've also got a Blade Mail up. Actually, they're trying to go onto the rating, but they really don't have enough to be able to pick him off. But we do also got a Blade Mail coming out for the Bristleback. But a heart on the Weaver. The Dark's is already dead. That's 800 crit on him. There's a sheep onto the Life Center. He's just going to be melted down immediately. The Weaver not even bothering to hit the Life Center. He does take down one already. But he's just going to start tearing through people even more. The Life Center actually jumping into Death Prophet, trying to live there, but he's just going to fall as well. And that's an ultra kill for the Weaver, and that will be GG from Alpha Wolves. 5-0 wipe, absolutely a double damage rune on that Weaver. What a time for that fight. So we got game 1 does go in the favor of Epic, and we are just going to jump straight into game 2. So hopefully no delay. Hopefully teams will be up and raring to go into the second game. So we'll mute the stream briefly, but hopefully we'll see you all in game 2.